that's okay. Okay, so Public Works Department, Carl and company, thank you for the tour of the treatment plant. It was educational to say the least. Right now in Public Works, they're doing okay. They're down 2 leads, but they feel like they can cover those 2 leads for the time being. And they do feel like they have some really good employees that will be able to pass certification and be able to move into those lead roles within a year or so. So they're doing pretty good. The plant is slowly failing. And Carl will be talking about this today, so I'm not going to elaborate a whole lot on that. Yeah, there was an odor that was reported, and they're tracking it down. Those guys are like private PIs when it comes to
the current one,
Like
the
hound
current
dogs.
smell.
Is there not one now? Oh, one must have ran really fast. They're gonna try and track it down and go
Smell
out.
like Fruity Pebbles or
What's that?
smell like Fruity Pebbles?
No, it's
I
more
told you I was gonna come
like,
down
it's
with
not
the
us.
breeze.
more like a rotten egg, like a sulfur kind of one.
That's not his then. His is bad.
Okay.
Okay, the projects in Rocket Road, they're putting in the bridge portion today. Well, that was yesterday. And they're sticking to the finish section. That needs to be done. The bridge needs to be done by April 15th. Okay, then they'll partially shut down Rocket Road as they finish the whole road itself, like 1 lane at a time. Secondary water will be going to Home Run East, starting about 1st of May. Secondary water equalization basin they've ordered the concrete and they'll begin that phase really soon. Culinary water replacement is moving along on 1000 West. The line has been laid out and they're beginning to tie in the connections with the old lines as soon as they can. Tremont Street, South Tremont Street, that road, this needs to be, they'll go back in and finish the asphalt stuff later. Cemetery paving bid came in just to do the new section of the cemetery, $57,200, and that project was awarded to Ruts, and it'll be finished by Memorial Day.
Okay.
So there's just a lot going on over there, and I'll let Carl fill in the blanks as we go on. Thanks, Carl.
Okay.
Thank you.
On the police side, I think it's been really busy. We got a not a good streak going of death and stuff, which causes a reverberating effect on overtime and things like that. Had a good meeting today with Lindsay on coming in as close to on target on budget for the remainder of the year as possible. Dustin and Skylar on it. Did get a request, and this isn't the appropriate time to bring this up, but I don't know when would. Our speed trailer, we have one, and it gets requested all over the city. 2 of the most prominent areas where we have the biggest concern is on 1000 North, going up Radio Hill, and Iowa String coming into the like where the church is there at 9800. Want to look into the feasibility of doing a couple of the permanent, the solar powered speed signs. They're, depending on the type that you get, they're between $1,700 and $3,500 a piece. But then the question came up, are signs like that, do they come out of police or do they come out of public works? And so I wanted to bring it up because I know everybody's stretched in, and I didn't want to just toss something on Carl and say, hey, can we find this in your budget? But I think if we had 2 or 3 of those signs, I think one way on Iowa Stream would be great coming into the city. I think 1,000 North needs one at the top and at the bottom, like coming both directions. I'll send everybody so Pete Gilchrist has been copying me on all the data that's coming that shows over the 10-day period the times of day and the speeds and things like that. And there are some speeds that get up there pretty high. So other than that, I just as we get into budget, I'm going to be having neck surgery the day of our next meeting, and so I'll participate by Zoom. But I know that we're going to be starting to talk about budget, and so I just wanted to just kind of give a basis for where my thoughts are going to go in the coming weeks and months, I guess. And the analogy that makes it the most clear for me is, as part of the whole process of going through, my doc said that he needed to do an injection into the disc, and that he needed to go through the front. And I just, okay. And so we got on the schedule, and I was just, I'm sitting there like all worked up. I'm imagining this needle going through my throat. I'm like, am I gonna, like, if I swallow, am I gonna feel it? Am I, like, all these things going through my head, to the point that I didn't sleep at all the night before. They gave me a really good dose of Valium because I was so freaked out by it. The doctor that was doing the injection, so I had this rolling around in my head for a week. And he comes in and he goes, I need to know that you're going to be able to hold perfectly still, because if not, we're not going to do this. And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, even with the Valium on board, I'm a little freaked out right now. And he goes, okay, what are you freaked out about? I'm like, well, am I going to feel the needle going through my throat? Like, what is this? And he was like, no, we don't do it that way. He goes, it's just kind of like right here on the side. I'm like, so it's not going through my throat? He goes, no, why would we do that? I'm like, well, I don't know, I'm not a doctor. And so I explained to him, like, this whole panic and not sleeping the night before and all this stuff. Or if I would just ask my surgeon, if he said, when he said we're going to do it through the front, if I would just said, can you explain that to me? Can you run me through what exactly that is? And so I learned a valuable lesson that asking questions as we go through budget, and not even just budget, but throughout the year, it's not a personal thing. It's not an attack thing. It's education. And I think that as we get into it, to ask those hard questions and even some easy questions, just to gain some perspective, so that we're not just, rubber stamping stuff that we don't understand. And so as we go through that, there are questions about things that I may not understand. There can be questions of things that I have concerns with. And so just know that it's nothing personal. It's just trying to wrap my head around it, because I think it's way too easy to get freaked out on stuff that we may not get the whole picture of. And so I just wanted to clarify that going into it. So that's all I have.
That's why we're council, so we can discuss. So very good. But I like that.
Main Street America program, I mentioned that we were going to be following that. We went to the original, Kelly Wood went, and Jared Lewis. And after that presentation, we were definitely applying, and we're going to be trying to win that or be a part of that program. So that's the game plan. We're going to be asking Kelly Wood to be the Main Street director. She is really excited, and then we'll be re-involving anybody that wants to be. There's going to be a lot of hands on deck that need to go into that, but she would be full-time. The RDA funds are going to be coming available, and we want to make sure that we're on top of that. So as fast as Main Street America will let us go, there's 3 tiers. Right now, we'd be in tier 1 if we get accepted. We most likely will be. She's been working with Chelsea, the head down there, and it's looking really good. So we're headed down that road. It's a model. It's proven. They know Main Streets, and it's set up for long-term success. They have governing, how to set it up, how to go about it. There's a resolution that has been written. I believe we're getting it to the attorney.
So,
I didn't quite get it in time, and so I was hoping to have it tonight. But next meeting, we'll be passing a resolution. But I want to get it on everybody's radar that Kelly Wood is being asked to be the Main Street Director. So if there are any objections, I'd love to hear them before we move too far down that road. But yeah, really excited about her. We do have, yeah, go ahead.
Are you guys okay if we let Kelly do some work during the next 2 weeks and start bringing this together?
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Okay.
absolutely.
There's a lot with getting
Need to go
committees
first.
and, getting Jared Lewis back involved, you know what I mean? Because he's still a Trudy Hatch. There's people that are willing to help. We just got to get them in the right seat and get things going again. So we'll get to that. Go ahead. There's a real estate group that we're meeting with next week. That's going to bring in a lot of jobs. We've talked about that a couple times in the past. And they're coming up to meet with the mayor and I and just kind of re-kickstart, make sure we're all aligned there. For business and commercial development. And then there's 2 items that we'll be talking about tonight that have to deal with real businesses wanting to deal with us in the city, and there's real estate conversations that need to be had, so we'll talk about that in closed session for them. And then I just realized tonight, looking back at some notes, the billboard on the freeway is still a pending item in my court. I had a question on that. What was the amount that we're paying for that?
3,000?
I thought we.
3,000. Okay.
I thought we voted on that.
So we agreed to keep going with it. I have a business that wants it,
Oh,
and I
awesome.
need to get terms over to them. And so generally speaking, I have
more
it
than 3,000.
more than 3,000. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
As long as we break even, we're happy with it.
Well, they can
Or
put
do we
a
wanna-
little bit of something about Tremont on it too, right?
We haven't decided.
I thought
So
we were.
that's pending.
Yeah, I thought that was part of the deal.
If we can, that'd be
It had
nice.
to be in there somewhere.
For
They get a better deal if they.
For better terms,
Yeah.
for 3,000.
Yeah. 6,000 if they don't.
But then obviously they have to cover the cost of and just approve the design with this. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, I'll move forward with that then. So-
And then Lindsay can help you get the contract and everything in place.
And then again, some real estate things to talk about tonight, so.
I don't have a whole lot. I got a couple of the fire department stuff. Met with him and then they've had spring break. He's been gone, so I haven't done anything. A couple of things I've heard. I'm sure I'm not the only one. All the grass people are pissed. The people that dump grass, I'm
Guess
just,
it's gone.
yeah.
Can't do it no more.
And then,
It's not,
Greenways,
but when is that open? That's,
All the time, like 8 to 5, every day.
It's open from 8:30 to 6:30.
out there.
out there, and it's really not that far out
Except
there.
for Mondays, we
That's
don't.
right.
Tuesday through Friday, it's open 8:30 to 6:30.
Tuesday through Friday.
And
We
then
probably ought to make sure that's on.
it's
It's
everywhere.
out, it's been out there.
I just got all the people that,
It actually
Wanna
worked
go
to my
dump.
advantage because Katie let me get a dump trailer.
yeah, well,
So I'm like,
where do you park it?
On your way out.
You want to drive by?
Yeah, you wanna switch by.
Yeah, that's our
Somebody
neighbor.
said people have been dumping grass out along the road out there, have they?
I haven't noticed.
I heard that too, but I
Yeah.
haven't been.
When we were out there last week, no. There
No.
wasn't. When we took a huge trailer load out last
And
week.
it's still at Tremont City, show your address thing?
No.
Oh, it isn't?
No, we need the green waste material, and we accept it.
So can I jump onto your discussion here? I had the mayor from Bear River City get hold of me and wondered if they could utilize that out there as well. And they were willing to have the residents pay something. Is that something you're interested in looking into, or?
I mean, there's nothing stopping any of them from Bear River City or anywhere from.
And this is
dumping
where
out
they
there.
take the branches and everything as well, right? Yeah, so I can just tell him that they're
See,
welcome to
and I
take it
thought
out
that
there.
was just Tremont City. No?
Well, last year they had us show our driver's license.
Yeah, it was.
but this year they did not. But I will say, and I've had this conversation with Carl. You want to come up here?
Okay,
Okay, sorry, Carl.
no, that's
I'm gonna
okay.
pick on you, miss. So we've had this conversation because a lot of people have reached out to me wanting to know why. I think Tremonton has been a community of convenience a little bit. You know, it's there, we knew it was gonna be there, and it's just really super easy. So I called around, Bergen City charges the dome. Logan, Cache Valley charges the dome. We don't charge anything. So,
Yeah, I think we all understand that. I'm just saying that
I mean, if we want, we could,
It's a change, we understand
It is a
that.
change.
People have to get used to it, and part of trying to keep the level of services, it was unmonitored. I mean, we had cameras and that kind of thing, but like, we didn't have gates, it wasn't controlled. People could come from anywhere and dump, and did. And so that standard hasn't changed. So we, you know,
but the guy there can at least say, that doesn't go here, it goes up.
They bring garbage.
yeah, I mean, I would just say this to Bear River City, sure, please come. And that's why the reason why we don't charge right now is because we need the green waste, because then we turn it into compost, which we do charge something for, sort of.
Yeah.
But it's just more economical to compost our solids than to landfill them.
So you just want yard clippings and treatments out there, nothing else?
We do take weeds,
Yeah,
I don't ask for them,
Mhm.
you know, but we take garden waste, we take anything that's green that's, and I say smaller than, or 4 inches or smaller in diameter, but it really could be bigger than that, but I didn't know that till last week, actually, so.
Okay, one other thing, we talked, and I know we're switching with this planner stuff, but what's happened with this, business on the corner that's falling apart? Have we reached out to?
Do you want to take a minute on that, please?
Sure.
I,
Down the alley. No, that's what I just take it out when it's full.
I'll come borrow it, so I don't have to use my clothes.
I made contact with the owner. She's in litigation. I didn't realize we'd put a stop order on this, or I would have taken things in a slightly different direction, but she should be out of litigation, I think it's tomorrow,
That's top order on what?
on construction for the building. So we're the ones that stopped it, and I wasn't made aware of that. But moving
So our
forward.
building inspector had.
And so moving forward, we've changed that direction. We've implemented what the change that we need to put into that. But moving forward, she's going to let me know how that goes this week. And then next week, we're going to meet with her in person here at the building. And we're going to, come together with what we can do for them.
So, and that comes to my next thing, is the building inspector, I get phone calls on that. And I know there's a code there, but is the hard case, or it seems like that it's, a lot of these guys aren't too happy about it, but maybe it's because they aren't doing it up to code. But I think most of these guys do know what they're doing.
He does a very good job, reasonable job on that. It would be wrong for me to really go into in-depth discussion on this because it's.
I don't
really
want any depth, I'm just bringing up what
We are looking into that. I mean, there's some different ideas that have come up on that, but I'm not, at liberty to really go into discussion on that. There are other people who could.
So one other thing that's probably in Carl's or whatever, but like, even the 1000 North, there's still poles that are in the way, but whose job is it to make sure that the engineering people, that somebody's taking out some of the stuff, and the same with over here where they want to finish that road where the power company won't come do their thing. Whose job is it to hound them? Is that the contractor, or is it
If you give me an address, I'll look into it.
When we do,
It's been going through,
construction, it's on the engineer to,
make sure everybody knows to move stuff or whatever?
Well, it is because their plans have to show what utilities there are. And that's a formal bid process, so they're involved in construction management, so that's where that's a construction management activity. And so if we're paying them for that, then that's their
So
obligation.
that's who we get hold of to find
But
out.
if there's something they're not doing, then we contact you and you get after them, right?
We just make it work.
But I just know,
I think it's Christina.
I don't know, it just seems, and maybe with,
Would it be Christina? But
I think she's taking that on now that the other employee is gone. And I've talked to her about it a couple of
I
times.
think it would be Chris.
And then I reached
well,
out.
the power company over there, and it's over by where old Gristmill go, is
Maybe I'm
all them trucks have to go buy all them, just wearing out all them roads when there's a road right there to go right where they gotta be. If the power company would move, so they
Yeah.
could at least have dirt.
Yeah.
And I know the power company's power company, it's not us, but it just seems like, I mean, I can do it if I give me the green light.
Saying the state is also.
I talked to Chris Reinhold about it about 6 weeks ago. And part of the holdup is the state. We're waiting for that light to come through, but we're also waiting for River's Edge to finish the road to get to
They
where.
can't finish the road till they move the power lines. That's
Yeah.
the whole,
Yep, that is,
point.
that is, and it is, and it's just kind of hurry.
I saw power lines the other day laying there, or power poles laying there.
also maybe.
They might be working on it, yeah.
I'm just trying to see how,
I've noted some of that down, so we're gonna be doing it.
I mean, I know on the-
So we'll get with that.
on the one on Rocket Road, we called the fire company. I have a relative that worked for the fire company for 40 years. We called him, said, oh, nobody paid us. And that was just a mess up.
We have an agreement with the power company that that they agree to move their utilities. And I think it even identifies like they have 60 days or something from when we notify them.
So it's been, longer than that, but I would think they get around to it when they get around to it.
Yeah, I mean,
They probably contracted somebody. All right, that's all I got.
No, and I got it noted down, so we'll take a
It
look
just-
at that tomorrow on DRC.
It happens way too frequently.
Oh, I know. I know.
It's challenging.
And then hopefully we get a good result on Gildera.
Well, we
Yeah,
need to, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the food pantry, they brought in a lot of food over that last food drive. She said it was really good. Her numbers for our partner families that she's serving, but she still thinks that her food will be good. And the food bank brings money in, or brings food in every Monday. So when there's a fifth Monday, they get an extra, donation that month from the food bank. So they got that in March. The senior center, the health fair, she said went really good, had really good attendance to that. They learned some new things at her conference that she'll be implementing, and I didn't talk to the library, so that's all I have. Good.
Thank you, and thanks for the reports. I think that it's awesome the way you guys are all involved with the various departments. I was contacted by Congressman Moore's office today. I want to read to you a letter that I put together, and this is for your information. And this is from me. Congressman Moore, I am writing on behalf of Tree Mountain City and our residents to state our absolute support of renaming the Tree Mountain City Post Office to Sorensen Estrada Post Office. This past year has been a heavy one for our town. Losing two of our officers brought a kind of grief you don't easily shake. But in the middle of that heartbreak, we saw the true character of Tree Mountain. The bedrock support of this community has been incredible. Our people rallied around the families, and they showed up for our police department. We want to send a clear, undeniable message about where Tree Mountain stands. We deeply appreciate, respect, and love our law enforcement officers. They step into the gap for us every single day, often in thankless conditions. Putting the names of Officer Sorensen and Officer Estrada on a federal building in the heart of our city does two things. It creates a permanent, dignified memorial for the ultimate sacrifice they made, and it serves as a daily reminder to every officer putting on the uniform in this town that their community has their backs. The city of Tremont stands completely united behind this proposal. We appreciate your leadership in carrying this towards the Congress.
Awesome.
Can you do that
Beautiful.
to Sergeant Sorensen, Officer Star?
Yeah.
Just so that.
I wonder if they'll do the sergeant or if they'll just do.
No, it just as it's referenced in the.
Okay.
Memorial.
Okay, thank you. Now, with that said, if you would like me to put the city council behind this letter, I can put together a resolution for a later meeting and we can vote on it and make it a resolution as a support to this, but I need to get this to him tomorrow, and so I can't ask for your support tonight, so I'm gonna send this out as the mayor, but if you would like me to put a resolution together, I'm willing to do so.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for doing that.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
Okay, we're running a little short on time, but if we have to, we'll carve out some time during our regular meeting to discuss some of this information. Presentations. Carl, you've got 3 presentations.
I'll be as brief as I can. The first item is just informational, to follow up on past discussions about water use and fees associated with that. So we budgeted for this fiscal year $70,000 equally distributed between secondary and culinary to do a rate study and impact fee analysis. We've just been waiting for our, let's see if he's in for, what is it? Sorry. Jones and Associates is doing our capital facilities plan, there's your CFP, for the water, and that's the first step it's the guts, it's the nuts and bolts side of the impact that water has, both culinary and secondary. And then this water rate study and analysis of the impact fees that we want to do is just the financial side of that builds off of the capital facilities plan and impact fee plan that's put forth there. And so that will, I've been trying to squeeze it in. I'm certain it's going to go slightly past July 1st, but it is what it is. It will be very welcome. It'll be great to have that done, just to determine what the true cost of water is, and look for your participation and support, and we'll communicate that as very openly, so that the council can make some of those decisions. And those studies and those kind of things, those are recommendations. And so the council can take those recommendations, discuss them, make your decisions after that. So I wanted to report that. And then in your package, you'll see that and Christy talked about it, we are going to do secondary water for not Garfield, Holmgren. There's 3 of them that we've been shuffling around. Holmgren East, Holmgren Estates East subdivision. We had 15 bids on that, which is fantastic. We had budgeted $800,000 for doing the whatever secondary we could.
What has to be done there to get Holmgren East connected?
Just installing the lines and the meters and services, everything. That's not You're gonna get it.
You're gonna get rocks in your garage
Yeah,
for
you're
that
gonna
too.
get-
It's not in our road at all?
No.
No.
It is in,
They're gonna cut it.
the house next to mine has it.
It's not down
Part
your
of it,
road.
not,
The house next to yours has it right now?
well, they have
The plumbing, the,
the pipes are in,
yeah.
Oh, really?
so they're not, obviously not.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
Crap.
Yeah, that's what,
I'm learning.
Can I ask a secondary water question?
Yeah.
It's one that I've been getting a lot, and I don't know the answer to it. Is, as the secondary water expands, like, is there, what's causing the rate to be so high? Like,
Like their monthly bill usage of it?
yeah, like,
Well, it's less than culinary. The secondary is less,
is less than.
yes, and if they were using culinary, it is less, the secondary.
You have to be careful though. We learned this the hard way. There's a lot of pressure that comes out of that pipe. And so it's putting out, what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, Carl, there's more pressure. And so if you run your sprinklers on the normal time that you're used to running it when we didn't have secondary,
More water.
you're putting more water out there and your bill is going to
Maybe that's
kind of
what it
scare
is.
you at first, so you need to adjust your times because you are putting more volume on your grass.
Okay, but
So that is an issue that we had, and I've had tons of people reach out to me, so,
that's
yeah,
probably.
just tell them to cut their sprinkler time back. Right?
mostly because it costs $800,000 for one little septic,
Yeah, that's,
Well,
yeah.
right?
we budgeted that.
The pumps and that.
We budgeted that, but with the 15 quotes that we got, I'm recommending that the council award this contract to Great Basin Development for $343,601.80. They were the second lowest bid. Our lowest bidder didn't actually qualify as we looked into it. So they're a new company and they didn't have all their ducks in a row, everything set up right. So
So is this Great Basin, they done it for the city before?
they have not done it for Tremont before, but they've done it for North Ogden, lots of places in Cache Valley and things like that. So we got good references from them.
A little less.
It's a little less than we thought.
That's great. That's what happens when you get that many
What
Thanks-
is the, what do you
thanks
think
for
the
saving money
timeframe
there,
is
Carl.
before, because then like them pumps over there don't have power yet. Right?
They don't have power yet.
I mean, is that, if they dig it, is that gonna be working this summer sometime?
It's they're supposed to have power before May 1st.
Oh,
Oh, the pump, sorry.
And they won't start it until
I'm not
they
saying they
start to
will,
fill
but-
that basin over there, but that has to be done by the time they bring in the canal, so.
yeah.
So then there will be two
Good on that.
major subdivisions on the south side of Main Street on the east end of town that will next year, if we can find money to do it, and look, we saved $500,000 here on this. Anywho, we'll do what we can next year as well. So, and then finally, let's talk about the treatment plant. My guys were super excited that you all came on the tour. Sounds like it was a wonderful time had by all.
It was.
Or at least educational.
Yeah.
And they really appreciated being able to bend your ear, which they did a lot of, as you know, so that was good. I have a couple of things I sent. I know that's not much time I sent. A copy of this to you last night. I will give you the Reader's Digest version of this. So this is a memo that, and you met Eric Som there, works for Aqua Engineering, who's our engineer over all things wastewater treatment. So this gives me direction on the recommendations of what we do, how much we think it's going to cost, and when we do it. So let me pause for a second, and also I have given you this lovely drawing here, this graph. This graph, the magenta line that's on the bottom, shows basically a 3-year average of the influent, the amount of water that's coming into the plant. And the straight red line that's at 1.9 million gallons per day is what our permit limit is. Our plant was designed for 2 million gallons a day. Don't ask me why those two numbers are not the same. I did not write that permit up, but when we renew it, it may be different. Anyways, you might notice that we're flirting pretty heavily with that red line as is right now. And so if we wanted to just maintain status quo, our plant is old and aging, and like Christy said, it's slowly actively failing, particularly the aeration basin. And so there are 3 bundles of projects that need to be done at the plant. And a lot of them don't even give us additional capacity unless we kind of do all of them. Then we can get additional capacity. We can get 50% more capacity with potentially more. But if this were an automobile, you would have sold it a long time ago. Like, unless you're really into restoring old vehicles, and I've put changed out a motor in my truck before, but I've not fully restored a vehicle ever. But it's not really the same vehicle, you know. It's not. It's a new old vehicle, and that's what we're trying to get our plant to, because it is in poor shape. I have lots of concerns on infrastructure needs within the city, roads, water, but my biggest concern is the status and the state of the treatment plant. Just because it's really old and it's been neglected for a while, and that's just the way it is. So we have set aside, we've dipped into it a little bit, but the council has approved, and we have set aside for phase 1, and this memorandum talks about three separate kind of phases. And the first one is aeration basins and secondary clarifiers, and that will breathe some new life into our plant. That's $7.2 million that we already have, that we're already working on, that we're going to be spending over the next year. And so that's phase 1. The next group of projects that are needed, just so we don't catastrophically fail again, is the digester and solids handling rehabilitation. And that's about $3 million. And Eric recommends that we start design on that this summer so that we can build that next year. So my job, and I appreciate all of your support, and particularly the Christie and the mayor, is to find a way to get $3 million so that we can do that. And then my next job after that is to find somewhere between $4.5 million to $9 million, again, depending on how we design and what headworks needs to happen. That's the third phase, is headworks. Excuse me. And that will add that will add capacity. If we do all 3 of those things, we can have some additional capacity that will buy us 10 to 20 years at the plant there. After which time, I think it's time to plan another plant.
And that should get us up to like the 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is also, I think, very important, 6 million gallons per day peak hour flow. So when we get crazy storm events or other things like that, it helps smooth those curves out a little bit, which is, when you look at this graph, that's the story of the spring, is we get really high rain, snow, runoff, melt-off events. A topic for another day and a question you might have is, how do we flatten that out a little bit? That's stuff that we would do, with the sewer pipe system itself, infiltration and that kind of thing. So that is something that I'm actively looking at as well. But for your interest, when you look at that magenta line, I determined that one home contributes 360 gallons per day. I feel really good about that number. You guys have been asking me for some numbers. And so 1,000 homes, it would be 0.36 million gallons per day. Million gallons per day is just the standard units that we measure influent for the treatment plant. So that orange line there is those additional 1,000 homes. And I would say, you know, we're somewhere between those two lines with what we have already approved. And so,
But not built,
but not built,
right?
but not
So
built.
we need
So
to
as soon as
remember
they're built,
that.
then that's when the plant's gonna start seeing extra.
And so part of our situation is if we've approved those lots, we have to provide the service. And so we gotta make sure we get this up and going right and
Yeah, oh
have
yeah.
service available to those lots that have been approved.
Yeah, and again, part of that is how, you know, can we flatten that out? Can we?
Flattening it out would help.
Can I ask a question on that, a 20-second question on that?
Please.
When we were doing the tour, and when you mentioned the rain, you know, rain surging, all of that, and that there were some of the storm drains that somewhere in the city that have been connected into the sewer. If those storm drains were located, they're dumping into the sewer, would that lessen the, like, is that worth looking at? And just to be clear, I'm in full agreement that it needs to be overhauled. I'm just wondering if we locate those, unless I misunderstood
Well,
the storm drain thing.
stormwater is making its way in, but the storm drains themselves should not be connected to the sewer.
Okay.
Should not. I don't think that's the problem. The I&I is inflow and infiltration problem that we have. It is obviously getting in somewhere, and I think we have some ideas of where, but it will take kind of a study to figure out.
Is it worth doing that, or is it?
I think 100% it's worth doing that, because we could do that. Let's say it cost us $200,000 to do a really good study that then buys us, you know, the ability to hook on 100 more or 1,000 more homes or something like that, or buys us 5 years or 10 years in the plant. I mean, it could be more than that. I mean, we're spending millions right now and proposing to spend millions more doing the kind of study, and then maybe spending another $1 million on some solutions to flatten that out as well with it, I would say.
So Carl, with looking at this and developments coming in, you're in a position to say, are you in a position to say, wait a sec, we need to hold off for just a minute till we catch up, till we get this under control? Am I hearing this right?
I think just knowing, using this 300 gallons per day per home value tells us, I mean, I didn't do it for today, but I can backtrack what developments have been approved but haven't been built yet. I can put a line on this graph that says that's going to be the impact here. And it's just additive. I mean, everything you see there is additive. And so assuming we do nothing else, that will be the impact to the plant.
Thank you.
And I think that's, can help us as decision makers say, no more. We can't, the plant can't take it, whatever.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. Appreciate that.
And then this paper I handed out, Carl and I and Christy will be working on updating this. This is just to show you the beginning of this process. A lot of questions to be answered, and this is the kind of data you'll be getting. We've got 10 minutes, and we've got Nate here to talk to us, and then we'll take a 2-minute break. So Nate, come on up and give us your presentation.
So I can just make mine really short and sweet if you want.
Whatever you want.
So you guys have got my presentation in your packets, so I don't necessarily need to go over it just for the sake of time. But basically, I'm here, I want to encourage you guys, there's training available for you guys as elected officials. But I'd like to be able to schedule and set up. We can do it right in this very room if you'd like. It's the ICS 402 class. Like I said, it's specifically for elected officials to teach you guys your role and your responsibilities in emergency, because you guys won't be the boots on the ground incident commanders. You know, you guys will be backing us up with policies and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you guys are in a position where we could maybe throw out a couple of dates. Mark Millett, the county emergency manager, would be able to do that for us.
And if I can, I want to really encourage, I think we need to get involved with this. The city used to be really strong at this as the legislative branch, and we've not done a good job of that in the last 12 years. And so I would like to see us get more involved with this. When we get into an emergency like we had this last summer, we need to be there to support people. So,
I prefer earlier workshop to be, like, if I had a preference, is just come at 5 and do it between 5 and.
now this is a 4-hour,
This is like
3 to 4 hour.
It would be 2 to 4 hours
Yeah.
depending on
Oh, I see.
questions and that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit longer class.
So you might need to do a Saturday morning or something.
For right now, we could do something later in the year. Right now, Mark said the best times for him would be during the week, and the evenings are during the days. These Saturdays are pretty well booked right now.
At work, my days are shot, so it's next week, either weekend or next week.
Not me.
Would like a Thursday evening be best for you guys?
A Thursday evening?
I
Yeah.
have to consult my calendar back there.
Why don't you look at a Monday evening or a Thursday evening?
And then send us some dates, whatever, I don't know. I got it from the next one.
And we're just here to encourage you, let's get involved.
Probably, to me, sooner than later, till we get in the middle of the summer and all that.
Yeah, for sure. And then there is, unfortunately, where the government's shut down, the FEMA website is also shut down. There's a lot of independent study classes, 700, 800, and 100 and 200 that you guys can do on your own that would help understand the same trainings and stuff that the fire department and the police department and stuff has done, so you understand how the incident command system works.
If I've already done all of those on the police side, is there anything already on this one?
On the
Just be the 402.
Yeah, just the 402.
I got all the others too.
Specifically for elected officials, whereas the other ones are more like introduction to NIMS, introduction to ICS.
Eventually, it'd be nice to start having the tabletops and the disaster drills here in the city so that we can all work together on how we handle that together as departments and elected officials.
Saturdays look good.
Okay, well, I'll reach out to Mark Millett and see what we can do for a Monday or a Thursday.
Okay. Thursdays don't look good. Who works on them? I like it. I did the CERT program many years ago. It was probably one of the smartest things I've ever done.
For Mondays better for you personally than Thursdays, or?
I'm retired. Yeah,
Most
I
people I know that are
can try to
retired
make
and
something
don't
work.
have enough time to work.
Mondays are back.
What's that? I fill my time with play when I'm not doing city council. I think I'm okay. The 20th, I know the 20th I know, but other than that,
Mondays, Thursdays.
20th through the 24th, I'm.
If it's evening.
Yeah, Thursdays for me, next 2 months, my Mondays are gone. So I've got like Thursday the 30th that I can, and then
The 30th is good.
after May 21st, I'm open on Thursdays.
Let me check with him for a few dates.
So I wanted to touch base with you guys to see what was better for you first, but I'll do that. and see what-
So what are we gonna do, Chair?
I just told him to go with Mondays and Thursdays and just throw us out a few dates and we'll see what we can
Okay,
check. with
that sounds
everybody and-
wonderful. Yeah, we'll do that.
Mine are pretty close.
I'm excited for what you're gonna do though. I really am. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and break down. We wanted to talk budget. We need 10, 15 minutes to do that. I would propose that during the strategic business portion of our meeting, maybe we insert that into the agenda. Okay, let's go ahead and break until 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. We're going to get started with our city council meeting. We'd like to welcome everyone out to city council meeting tonight. We'll go ahead and start our meeting with, we'll get the right page here, calling to order. And we'll turn the time over to, Lindsay is acting as our recorder and she is our city manager, so she's wearing 2 hats today.
Yes. Council say if you are present or not. Councilmember Boca,
Yes, present.
Councilmember Euler,
Yes, present.
Councilmember Westergaard,
Present.
Councilmember Lewis,
Present.
Councilmember Jex.
Present.
We have a full quorum.
Okay, we will start out with an invocation by Councilman Jex, and then Brother Jepson, excuse me, Mr. Jepson. I forget my hat sometimes.
Mr. Brother.
Mr. Brother Jepson will lead us in the pledge after the invocation, okay?
Our Father in heaven, we're gathered here this evening as council and residents to follow the guidance. Father, we're grateful for all that we've been blessed with. We recognize the stewardship that we've been given. We ask for the Spirit to guide us in the right ways to provide those things that are important to the residents under the Constitution. Father, we're grateful for all that we have. We know that all that we have comes from you, and these things are grateful in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please repeat the pledge with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now comes one of the best times of the evening. We have our presentations to these wonderful students, and we appreciate all that they do. We appreciate, what's that? Yes, we do. But before we do that, we should approve our agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Can I get an addition to the agenda to move the budget discussion onto our agenda? Probably at just before number 12.
Could we also move the financial statements to strategic business also?
Okay,
With those 2 exceptions, I'll make a motion we approve the agenda.
so here we have a motion and a second. All those that approve, say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Or yes. Those opposed, say no. Okay, now the best part of the evening. These are the citizenship awards. They're presented for outstanding citizenship from each one of our local schools. So we would like to invite our principals to come up, and Councilwoman Boca is going to announce the students. We'd like you to come up and stand up here in front, and then after she has announced everyone, let us all stand up behind you, and then you can take your pictures, okay?
Hey, boys and girls, I'm so excited to be here. I worked in the schools for 18 years. For you to get this award today is a big honor. It means you are doing something good. And as a city council, we appreciate what you're doing. So when I was working, I would encourage my students to do two things. Share a smile every day, doesn't cost anything, and do something nice for someone, even if it is holding the door open. If we spread kindness and smiles, it's gonna go a long ways. Parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, whatever you are, I'm proud of you for supporting these little people, and I know the council is too. So let's move on. I hope I pronounced your name right. And our principals, if you'll just stand right back here in front of the principals, we want to see your smiling faces. Crew Jacobson. Aubrey Carlson. Gideon Wright.
Was that Aubrey that was coming out?
No, they're gonna come in next. Grady Jones. Okay, I'm trying on this name. Bear with me. Rosalie Sepulveda. Did I say that? Isla Jones. Roxy Rasmussen. Killian Lee. Theo Hawks. Nash Bronson. Macy Weathersby. Laken Sizemore. River Jensen. She's on vacation. Oh, can you take me? Grayson Matheson. Okay, so principals, when you go, I have these. Okay, you're
So
gonna stand.
did we miss anything?
Come
So when we take these pictures, we want you to turn these around so you see this. We don't want to see your names because we don't want to be putting your names out on the internet. There you go. So. You want to go?
The council will stand up.
Okay, parents, you can come out and take your pictures.
Okay.
Good job. We'd like to thank everyone, and we're going to move on to the next portion. You're welcome to stay, but this is where a lot of people like to exit. Well, that was great. Okay, now let's move on to the next section, declaration of conflict of interest. Do we have any declarations of conflict of interest for this?
No.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. We now have a presentation from the American Legion by John McClellan. And we have, yeah, right up there at the microphone, and there, you can use that microphone as well.
Take the minutes from All right, so real quick, on February 21st, we had the honor of hosting the American Legion National Commander. That's the first time any veteran organization national commanders made it to Fox River County.
First time national.
We had that great honor. Out of 87 American Legion posts in the state of Utah, we are one of the most active, and we've been making a lot of accomplishments over the last year. And so we invited Mayor Brett Rhodey and Garland City Mayor Danny Austin to join us for that breakfast. And that right there is a picture of all of us, plus the two mayors, along with the American Legion National Commander. We like to think of that as a kind of like a bridge of uniting both cities, all the communities together. And so with that, we presented Garland City with that same picture, and we want to do the same for Tremont, just to share that love and gratitude for joining us with that. That was pretty special. And with that said, we'll go ahead and present that. And then David Winkler is going to make a quick little thing about our upcoming event.
We'll take a picture to give a picture.
Picture of us giving a picture of us.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you. That was awesome. It really was.
Thanks, fine.
Thank you.
We'll do your spiel about your.
Thank you.
Walk.
That's exciting.
But we got the floor.
We're hoping that people have been noticing what our plans are for the USA 250 celebration, because it's Tremont City's helping us by sponsoring it, helping us sponsor it. What we're doing is on May 23rd, we're going to do a Gold Star Walk in honor of all of the families who have lost loved ones in any wars. And the plan is that we're going to walk from Midland Square out to the cemetery and back, and that's 2 miles. If we get 125 people signed up for that, then that'd be 250 miles to celebrate the 250 years. So we invite everyone to come and participate. There is going to be a special presentation as part of that.
We'll officially unveil the battle cross by then, so it's on its way.
So
And we see that the stand's been built. I've had some people ask me about that, right? Out there on the, they're like, well, that's a nice memorial. I said, just wait. There's something on top of it.
Right. It's gonna be really cool, and that's the day we plan on unveiling it for everyone, so we haven't got all the particulars yet for that, but we think that'll be a real good experience for everyone, so. And it is designed as a fundraiser for the Veterans and Child's Foundation. That's a national foundation from the American Legion that helps support families. And there's a lot of deployments going on right now with the, and so we'd like to invite people to donate to that, because it'll help us to support those soldiers that are out there.
$5 online.
Yeah. So,
What is it?
yeah, just, the registration is $5.
Okay, what time is the walk?
It's at 9 a.m.,
Yes.
but that's when we're gonna start. So if we do anything special for the monument, then it'll be, the actual walk will be later, a little bit later. But
So just to reiterate that, we would like to have you say a word if you are able to be there, Mayor, or a representative, whoever will be there, and or any of the city council to come. But we want to give you an opportunity to, say a few words. And we will do an official unveiling. Just take a few minutes to do that before the walk. So I don't think it'll take too long. We'll get after it right away.
So I'm really good with time limits. What, a couple minutes or what? Okay.
Right? Filibuster if you want to. That's okay.
Throw a random number at him. It's 247
Keep it under an
seconds.
hour.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, everybody's welcome. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we have a Years of Service Award. Chief?
All right, we have Tegan Stokes is going to be receiving his 5-year service award today. We'd like to first, before we give you your service award, we'd like to quickly highlight him. Tegan's been with us with Tremont City for 5 years. He getting his 5-year service award. He was a part-time firefighter with us, and then recently, last year, went to a volunteer status. Tegan is 27 years old. He grew up in Fielding, and then after he turned 18, he moved out of his house with his parents, and then bought a home here in Tremont for 6 years. And last year, he sold his home in Tremont and moved back to Fielding. Tegan works full-time for Union Pacific and is a trainman, has been with them for 9 years. He's married to his wonderful wife, Katie, who, by the way, also works for us as a part-time firefighter and is awesome. She's a firefighter paramedic, and they have been married for almost 2 years. Together they have 2 dogs. Is it Millie, right? Vinny and Millie are the 2 dogs. We asked Tegan a few questions. First one we asked him is, what do you do in your spare time? And he said he works on cars, he likes to run, he likes woodworking, and most of all, traveling. In the last few years, he and his wife Katie have traveled to many places. They have been to Italy, France, Switzerland, Spain, Canada, Scotland, Ireland, and Costa Rica. And I want to go on the next trip.
Wow.
Go to some cool places, have a lot of fun. That's awesome. Another question we asked him is, what are you passionate about? Sorry, I'm reading 2 questions at once. What are you passionate about? And he says, having the nicest lawn in his subdivision. He just submitted that. He said he bought a new John Deere tractor to take care of that. And the last question we asked him is, what is your favorite quote? Because we have two lives. And the second begins when we realize we only have one. So Tegan, thank you for your years of service. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah,
Thank you. Okay, now we have two proclamations. We're gonna first do our annual Arbor Day proclamation, and I just love passing things off and delegating, so we're gonna let Councilwoman Euler read this for us.
Proclamation encouraging the observation of Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Brett Rohde, Mayor of Tremonton City, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day. And in the city of Tremonton, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and wildlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next we have child abuse awareness presentation.
Hello, I'm Mary Sue Swift, and along with Casey Merrill, we've been, and many other people on our committee, we've been working on the wellness, the emotional wellness committee. Before we give our proclamation, we have a couple of great guests joining us, Wendy Guidewall and Olivia Holland.
Thank you. Hello, Mayor Bodie. Oh, and we're happy to be here. We're with Prevent Child Abuse Utah. We are the state chapter of Prevent Child Abuse America. And in Utah so far, we have seen proclamations from cities, Washington, Springdale, Midvale is happening right now. West Jordan City was this morning. Provo was yesterday. But you know what's different about Tremonton is we got, someone sent us an email and said, will you come and do this with us? So your citizens are very much wanting to prioritize April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. It's really important to remind not only organizations such as what we do and other support organizations, but businesses and community members, because we all need to work together to really help prevent child abuse. And it comes with awareness, conversations, and pinwheels, as we we walked at, we saw outside. So Olivia is one of our home visitors, which is one of the programs that many family resource centers do. And she's going to also say a few words about Child Abuse Awareness Month. Child Abuse Prevention.
Well, thank you so much for having us here, Mayor Rohde and all the city council, and of course, family and friends that are here. I am so honored to be here, but I am also a home visitor, but I'm also a resident of Tremont. My kids have walked North Park, they have walked Harris, they've graduated from Bear River High School as a Bear. My youngest is part of the Barracuda water polo team. Barracudas. I'm also a dance teacher just down the street at Dance It Out Studios. I've been here for 8 years, and I am just honored that my own city has been so, recognizing that abuse is part of our community, unfortunately, and that we have reached out to not only a good organization, but the organizations that I work with. So I'm proud and honored to be here to speak with you guys and to talk further about other events that you're going to hold in the future with this proclamation or anything that you guys need. I hope to be the face for that. And I'm just so happy to be here. And I'm so happy to be a representative of Prevent Child Abuse with my own hometown and my own city.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So as many of you saw, there were pinwheels, blue pinwheels outside of the building. Those pinwheels are a representative of a happy childhood. And so you'll see them throughout the city. You'll also see them at an event we'll be having on April 21st, a Tuesday, at 4 o'clock at the library. It's a family event. We'll be passing out resources to help with child abuse prevention and doing kindness rocks and having everybody paint them. And you may see on occasions we distribute rocks throughout the city. So if you ever find a rock, know that somebody thought about you and left it for you. All right. So as for the proclamation. Proclamation, Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. Whereas the children of Tremonton are our city's most precious priority, and their safety and well-being are paramount to the strength and future of our community. And whereas every child in Tremonton deserves to grow up in a safe, stable, and nurturing home, protected from the trauma of abuse and neglect, and whereas child abuse is a community-wide issue that requires a community-wide solution involving the collaboration of our local schools, law enforcement, healthcare providers, and neighbors to ensure a city with a future is also a city that protects its youngest citizens. And whereas we recognize that when families are supported by a strong community network, the risk of child maltreatment decreases and the opportunity for children to flourish increases. And whereas the blue ribbon and the blue pinwheel serve as symbols of our commitment to preventing child abuse and honoring those who work tirelessly to protect children in Box Elder County. Now therefore, I, Brett Road, Mayor of the City of Tremonton, Utah, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. In Tremonton, Utah, I urge all residents to wear blue, educate themselves on the signs of abuse, and join in collective responsibility to support families and provide every child with a childhood free from harm. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Tremonton to be affixed to this 7th day of April 2026, Brett Road, Mayor of Tremonton. We would like to know if we can get a picture with the City Council, Mayor.
Do you want us down there or just? You want us to stand? You want us to stand? Is that okay?
You want us to stand there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have Susan Burnett. She's the new director of the Family Support Center, and we have advocates from the New Hope Crisis Center here. They're the sexual assault advocates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see, here's the signed proclamation. Did one of you need this?
their proclamation.
I'll sign one.
Cynthia's got to sign.
Yeah, we don't have to do a signature,
Cynthia's
but
got
Oh,
we
okay,
could get it to you later.
Great, thank you.
all right, that's good. Thank you so much for coming to Tremonton, to our wonderful city
Thank you.
up in the north. And this is just a great example of what our citizen-involved communities are doing for us. You know, our wellness committee is so on fire right now. Thank you. They're doing a lot of good things, and there's a lot of people involved. So, thank you. Okay, now it's time for our citizen engagement portion. Do we have anyone that's signed up? Okay, so this is the time that we use our dignity standard. Hard conversations require the honest truth and a respectful tone. We commit to fixing the problem without making it personal. Let's keep this conversation productive so we can get back to the work of building a better Tremont. We'll go ahead and let speakers come up to the microphone. Please state your name. We'll give you 3 minutes. Under Utah state law, the council cannot debate or take action on non-agenda items. We ask you to talk about anything that you would like except the financial statement, because we're going to discuss that as part of the strategic business. And then you'll have an opportunity to talk about the financial statement at that time. We turn the time over to you.
I guess I'm gonna take 3 minutes.
You're on the clock.
Y'all know me, Bill Roseman. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to attend Citizens Academy through the police department. It's cool. It was a lot of fun. I like it. I hope it continues. I'm bragging about it to a few people here and there that I think ought to go through it. I know money's tight. I know you got a tough road to hoe when it comes to a budget. One of the things that I would really like to see, you used to have, if you go back far enough, when you went to school, you had gun safety in schools, if you go back far enough. We don't have that anymore. It would be nice if we had hunter's education in the schools as in gun safety. That goes hand in hand. What I would really like to see, you know, if you want to hunt, you have to do the hunter's safety education course, and you got to present your card or you can't get a license. So how many of us carry firearms? Not everybody goes into the military, and not everybody is a law enforcement officer. Education is a good thing. I would like to see a state-sponsored class statewide where in your city or your town, you could have deadly force training, lawful use of deadly force. 2 to 3 weeks course that people could pay a fee and attend that for their own education and their own enlightenment. I think training like that should be mandatory, like hunter's ed to hunt game. I really do. I think anybody that carries a gun should go through training like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess that was short and sweet. What else, huh?
I got one for all you guys.
My name is Brad Windrick. I have some reports I get handed out that I'd like to share with the city. They're involving 8 different cities from Hiram to Logan to Smithfield, from Pleasant View, North Arlington, Perry, Freedom, Tremont, and Garland. Says, I'm a numbers guy, and I've been my whole life. I like them. I use them in my job, all my jobs today. So after reviewing the city's fee and payroll summaries, it's clear that Tree Mountain doesn't have a revenue problem. We have a structural one. Their fee report shows that we can generate $2.6 million annually simply by ensuring services pay for themselves. Currently, property taxes are subsidizing roughly $1 million of those services that should be funded by users and developers benefiting from it. That's not a revenue gap, that's a policy gap. At the same time, we need to apply the same level of scrutiny to payrolls. Everything that I found is on transparentutah.gov website where governmental organizations report to. Simultaneously, our payroll has grown 80% over the last 5 years, double the rate of our population growth. In some departments, costs have exploded by over 500% without a clear public record of authorization. When costs increase at that pace without clear public facing discussion, it raises important questions about processes, priorities, transparency, and long-term sustainability. This isn't about questioning the value of city employees. It's about ensuring the growth, staffing, and compensation is deliberate, justified, and aligned with what the community can reasonably support. We're asking residents to pay more through fees and taxes. We also have the responsibility to demonstrate the internal growth is being carefully managed and transparently reviewed. The issue isn't that we need more money from residents. It's that we need to ensure growth pays for growth, and that both revenue, collections, and spending are handled with that same discipline and accountability. And I ask that you look at these two reports as one conversation. The revenue is there. We just need to collect it properly and manage it responsibly and avoid further burdens on our taxpayers who we are. Also, if anyone wants to know more, I can share my other complete reports with you to see how I came up with the numbers that I've got. Also, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just presenting the numbers. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
If somebody in the audience wants some, I do have other reports for those too.
Thanks for doing that work. Okay, we appreciate your participation. We'll go ahead and close this portion of the citizen engagement, and we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have moved the adoption of the financial statements out, and after further discussion with some of the city council and some of the citizens, I think we're going to permanently move this out and put it out so that it can be discussed in the strategic business each time. If you guys are okay with that. Yeah. Okay. With that in mind, other than, it looks like the only thing we're pulling out of there is the financial statement, but we need the approval of the minutes from March 3rd, the warrant, and then approval of the resolution awarding the bid for secondary water. Okay.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes. Yes, you got roll call. Oh, there's a resolution in there.
Oh. Good job.
That was a test.
We wanted to see if you were on board. Okay.
Okay, roll call vote. Councilmember Boca.
Yes.
Councilmember Euler.
Yes.
Councilmember Westergaard.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Councilmember Jacks.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, next, it's time for, we're moving our discussion for our budget in here for about 10 to 20 minutes. This is a time for us to talk and discuss anything that pertinent to the budget. Now, the budget, I put together, I gave you one of these earlier, but these are a new tool that I'm developing. Here's three. It's a strategic, it's called the Tree Mountain Connect Data Standard. What this does is this helps us to understand and give objective data to everything that is being presented. And so, yeah, you've got one. And this is for your information. In the future, we'll get it out a lot sooner so you have time to study it. But I wanted you to at least look at this and tell me what we could do to improve on it and make it easier for you to make decisions in the future when it comes to discussions on certain subjects. This one, I got that one, and then I've got, so this one's on, we have two departments that are needing more money than what is standard. And so this is on the fire and on the police.
That's based off the national benchmark?
Yeah, that's off of a national benchmark. Now, of course, all this stuff's open for discussion, so.
Now, let's point out that it's off of one benchmark by one group, which another group has a different benchmark, so.
Okay. So this is a spreadsheet that I put together. Now, the spreadsheet, it goes through, and this takes all of the information that's been given to us from other departments on their requests, has their year-to-date actuals and their budget. So their actuals naturally aren't gonna tell the whole picture. So I think the important thing to look at is what they budgeted for 2026 and what they're asking for in 2027. And as you scroll through this, and I tried to make this as easy as possible for you to look at.
Small is too small.
I think there you go.
Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So on the very right, in the green on the top bar up there, it shows you the national benchmarks. Now, these are just, like I said, these are national things that we can consider. All they are is to say, hey, this is a ballpark for you to look at. In the budgets that were prepared, you can see what percentage of the general fund is being requested. Most of the other funds have their own budgets. For example, Public Works. Fire Department has a good portion of their own budget. We do transfer in 12 to 14% of our general fund into making them whole. Our Police Department is fully funded through the general fund. I've got some ideas on that. I'd like to propose that we move the general fund. Anyway, I think what we can do, I think we have some ideas in mind that we can move the police department to their own department and pull them out of the general fund, which I would prefer to do that if we could. I think the police department would prefer that as well. And I think we found a way to do that. We need to wait and see where some contracts go in order to find out what, if we're able to do that. However, with that in mind, my proposal last year, it seemed that it was really hard for us and you to come up to make decisions because everything was thrown at us, and I'm trying to find an easier way to do this. To me, an easy way to do this is if we can come up with percentages that we can then send back to the departments and say, this is where you need to budget. I know when I did budgets, they'd come to me and say, this is how much money you have, and so then I had to build my budget within that. And so I would propose that we do something similar on our budget. It will make it easier for us. It will make it much easier on the department heads to go in and say, okay, this is how much money I have. Now I'm going to see what I can do with this. That's one of my proposals. Now in this data standard I gave you, it talks about all this, and we can share this with the police and the fire and the citizens. We've got it connected to the packet now. So, point of discussion, we've got the police are asking for 45.9% of the general fund, and we have the fire department asking for 14.1% of the general fund. They're the two that are over. Police department's over significantly on their ask. The fire department's over a little. their benchmark is at 12%, but they're 14.1%. With this spreadsheet, if we all, I think one of the speeches I need to give is our job as a city council and as a legislative branch is to take care of the financial future of the city 10 years in advance. We need to make sure that we're building a future for Tree Mountain City. The decisions we make this year will affect everything that happens in the future. So we're going to have to start taking a lot of these budgets and taking it very serious and start setting some goals and start working towards getting ourselves whole.
If you scroll down on the percentage there, just keep scrolling, that final percentage of so the total expenses, the 99.5%, does that mean today that 0.5% is what's left for capital?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm understanding, right?
Yeah, so we'd have $47,000 left for capital expenses on this budget.
Right, which means the sewer plant that we just got done talking about is gonna have zero cash left over in the future.
Well, there's some data.
Yeah, the sewer plants.
Because it's operational.
Yeah.
But even the capital budget still has stuff they want out of that too. So if we're not putting any in savings, then we can't.
Yeah.
I mean, right? That isn't vehicles and big purchase come capital.
That's where we've been transferring money to.
Well, I'd like to point out a couple of things. One, I believe the department heads were asked, put together what the needs are. And so that's what it was based on. We also have to take into account that costs go up for everything. I mean, you got the standard cost of living, but we also have in the various contracts in police and fire, and I'm sure Public Works does too, they're automatic up to 3% increases that are automatically put into cloud storage and other things. And so we got to take that into account. And one other thing that I would personally like to see is the recommendations there on the right that we include other recommendations of other groups like the International City Managers Association is notorious for undercutting on things where they differ from the International Association of Chiefs of Police and from the FBI on recommended data. So I think if we're putting comparisons together, then let's put comparisons together and say, okay, the FBI bases it off crime rate and population. The City Managers Association bases it off by city managers. And so if we're going to take an honest look at everything, then I would like to take an honest look at everything. And the ask, I mean, we've had conversations before about do we want to be reactive or proactive? And I'm telling you, the reactive policing, you will pay hand over fist down the road. 10 years down the road, it's going to cost significantly more to let a problem get out of hand by not staying on top of it. West Jordan, I found this out the hard way when they had to come up with funding. In just the 8 years that I've been gone, they've increased their manpower by 24 officers to take care of the problems that we're getting away from because they didn't want to appropriately staff for the rapidly growing population. And so as we come into these, and look, I've had conversations with Chief Cordova, and he understands that the ask, the reality of the ask, to trim down, but what we asked him for was, hey, in a perfect world, like if we had everything that you need to meet that, what would that look like? And I believe that he and the fire chief have done that. And so now we go, okay, now we know where that benchmark is for that ultimate thing. We need to peel back on it, but if we're going to plan for that 10 years in the future, we've got to include data from more than the ICMA. And it's gotta factor in crime rate and drugs and things like that, because you look at the broken window theory, and I'm telling you, 29 years in policing, and the broken window theory is absolutely legitimate.
What was?
The broken window theory is take an abandoned house, and it can sit there untouched for a long time. And as soon as somebody comes by and vandalizes it, breaks one window, then all of a sudden it opens up, and before long the house is pretty much destroyed. Remember when New York, when Mayor Giuliani sought to decrease the violent crime rate? Well, he started it by enforcing the little things, the little small, the toll jumpers on the subway and little small crimes, because those little small crimes are oftentimes committed by people that are also committing the bigger crimes. And so that's the thing. And all these budgets can be trimmed back. What we have to ask ourselves is, what are we willing to do without? If we like on the police one, if we went to option C right now, which would be a significant decrease from current funding, what are we willing to do without? What are we willing to not have officers respond on? What types of crimes are we willing to not have investigated further beyond patrol? Because that's part of the calculation too. It's not just finance. I mean, we do have financial obligations to the residents. We also have obligations to protect them. And we have obligations to make sure that when they flush the toilets, it doesn't come launching back at them. And so, we talked before about, a three-legged standard, and police, fire, public works, it's that 3 legs. The other stuff, it's that cushion on the top. People like sitting on the cushion's comfortable. But when it comes right down to it, if one of those 3 fail, or all of those 3 fail, we can have the tidiest mowed parks or whatever, and it's not going to matter. It is not going to matter. Because the fact remains that, we could ask the police chief and the fire chief, if multiple events happened right now, what would we do? And based off what the ability is that response acceptable? If we ended up with 3 house fires at once, could the fire department handle all 3 of them? And how much damage gets done? What if it was your house that was the one on fire, or next door to the one on fire? How badly would you want that put out? We've seen a drastic increase in child abuse cases. Every single one of them has to be investigated fully. The crime rate is not going down. And so when we talk about all these things, and we're looking at numbers, we have 2 full-time detectives and 1-on-1 from patrol. Right now, the police department does not have the capacity to keep up on the call volume that's coming into the investigations division. And so we just got to keep all that in mind, that I believe wholeheartedly in transparency, but I also believe in painting that picture. We had a great experience out at the sewer plant, and a good understanding of what will happen if that plant fails. Now, put in your mind what happens if that same catastrophic event happened in the police department or the fire department. And ask yourselves, with us sitting up here, are we willing to deal with the fallout of what happens from not seeing all the landmarks? And we've got a lot of great experience up here. Blair and I were talking at the break. He was my Little League coach, and I remember the time when we had really done something to earn it. I'm confident of that. But right as the siren started going, and as he's running to jump into his truck, and told us we better still be running by the time he got back. But you know what I learned from Blair growing up was that dedication. And I always knew that I wanted to be a cop. And I was like, I want to go into it with the dedication that Blair has, that he would prioritize that over Little League. And I carried that example with me. I was telling him every academy class that I taught, every single academy class was told the story of Blair Westergaard and the lessons that I learned from him in Little League. He's seen the fire department from straight 100% volunteers to evolving to where we're at now. And is that enough? I mean, he really blazed the trail on that. And now all that work that he's invested a lifetime in and all that dedication, now what happens to it? And do we trust our department heads? I 100% trust our department heads to make the decisions that they see fit for their departments. If Carl says the sewer plant's failing, I believe him. If I didn't believe him, then why would we have him here? Right? So that's my soapbox for the evening. But I just want to make sure that we're looking beyond just percentages, and that we're looking beyond, that we're peeling back and we're getting that big glimpse of what it is that we're doing and making sure that we are operating efficiently. And I believe that efficiencies are the thing that we should be focusing on as part of the equation. It's not just hey, we cut this amount, we cut this amount. It's, okay, what are the other ramifications? When we ask department heads for presentations on things, we're asking them to, okay, now tell us what happens when that goes bad, and if it failed, why it would fail. We need to take that same approach to stuff that we're doing on budgeting and everything that this legislative body encompasses, because if we're not doing our jobs. That I don't know how to sit my.
Okay, thank you for your insight. I look at things as someone that has seen life from a different angle. We are all being asked to do more with less in our homes. That's the bottom line. Nobody is living on the same income they had 2, 3, 4 years ago. Times are tough. I spent 9.5 hours going, and I just did 2 months of the finances. There are ways we can and should make cuts. The spending outside, going to outside sources, it's become the norm to pick up the phone and go, we'll just call them and have them do it. We'll just call them and have them do it. I want to see that cut a third. Because I know we have smart enough people within our own department heads and in our own town. If we need an outside contract, I'm going to throw one out there. Probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. Building inspecting. I know we did not pay the former building inspector what we're paying right now. I strongly believe we can get someone in-house. And that's going to cut that budget drastically. But there's many, many other ways. I have sheet after sheet after sheet that I've gone through. And that was just 2 months worth of budgets. We're all being asked to make cuts. My husband and I are on Social Security. We didn't get a 3% COLA. We have 2.8 and our insurance gobbled up 3/4 of it. The reality is we need to tighten our belts. It is hard. It's going to be tough. But I have to say, sorry, Carl, I've got to say this. I don't want anything coming back to my house. After that tour, we do have some serious issues down there. Oh. And a lot of this stuff has been pushed down the road. And I've said in these meetings since 2019, in here and in planning commission meetings, a lot of stuff was not done the way it should have been done. And now some of our department heads are trying to dig out from that. They're doing the best they can do. But still, as a city, as a whole, we can do better and we must. When my husband went on business trips, he had a stipend and he lived by it religiously, if I can use that word in city council. He knew if he went over his hotels, he paid it. He knew if he went over on his meal allotment for the day, he paid the well, we paid the difference. What am I saying here? We paid the difference. It took me 12 years to save enough money to build a walk-in shower that was not a want, it was a need. We don't always get what we want. We have to work for it and save for it. And I think that's how I want to go into this budget meeting. It's going to be rough. I'm not just going to roll over and play dead because I know we can do it as a council. I know we are smart enough to make the cuts where they need to be made and to trim the fat where it needs to be trimmed because it needs to be trimmed. That's my take.
Well, I was in the fire service for 42 years, and I would love to give Jeff Woody stuff because I'm a fire guy. But after the 2 years I've been here, there's not enough money. There's not enough to, I mean, you can give it all, but the parks still need, the kids still need to have somewhere to go. We still, obviously, the sewer treatment, but the eye-opening for me is I don't think anybody's just rolled over and said whatever. It's just, we still got to have some in there for when the shooting happened and we dumped a bunch of money in the PD for that. We had that in our coffers. If we don't have anything, then we're just like all of us. You don't have your savings. That's the eye opener is trying to please get the cities. I don't think it's real too fair to say, pick what you don't want to go. I mean, I went by a fire Saturday, that freeway out by Saltaire, and they had more fire guys than is in Box Elder County from UFA sitting there. And that would have been way nice, but we'll never have that, not forever. So, you know, you get 3 fires, somebody else got to kind of put the other one out. We all know that, but that's the hard part is, if you look at it, we still got to stick someone save, but I feel attacked when it comes back that we're not supporting somebody, and I feel like just the opposite in my opinion.
And I didn't mean it as.
No, I'm not saying you did. I mean, that's the way I take it, but yeah, I
think what it comes down to is we got a bit of a revenue problem.
Right.
I mean, we do have some things that I'm concerned with on the spending side, and those will get addressed, but we do have a revenue problem. And I mean, we see the monthly sales tax revenue and things that come in, and you know, and those fluctuations, and it's, I mean, encouraging people to buy local. You know, I know that there are some things that I'll buy here in town, they're gonna cost me a little more, even factoring gas than driving over. But if I'm gonna gripe about revenue, then I need to be part of solving the problem, right? And so that's where I'm saying. That's all I intended, wasn't that that we shouldn't have nice parks and things well done, because that's part of the broken window theory. You know, when we're looking at companies that want to come to Tremont, they look at how the city presents itself. Right. And so if we've got disheveled parks and we got trash everywhere, if we look like Bourbon Street in New Orleans, then no company in their right mind is going to want to come. And so it's part of that assessment that we do. It's part of those hard things. Is it a want or a need? Is it, maybe a little bit of both? And so that's the efficiencies are on the spending side, but it's doing what we need to do to attract that revenue side. If we're gonna grow smartly.
That's underway and
Yeah.
it takes time, and it's
Yeah.
definitely underway. We're doing a lot of things there.
Yeah.
That was coming.
Which, oh yeah, I'm excited about it. You know, Main Street is maybe getting renovated with the RDA funds. We're gonna see that happen. There's some economic development discussion tonight on land we need to talk about, which is directly associated with revenue, right? So I think all of those, you're right. I would be interested to understand a little bit more about the revenue findings that you see here, that could be available with impact fees. Building permits was something that you mentioned already, which I think we should zoom in on a little bit. Business licenses was the other one that I was going to bring up in discussion on revenue. Along with Airbnbs, we have people coming out of, coming in from out of town, staying in Airbnbs inside of our city limits, and we're not taking additional business licensing on that. I think that's a revenue source that would open up for especially outsiders coming in. If you look at St. George, that's how they built the things they do down there because of tourism and then, I don't know what the utilities, parks and courts is, services fund, but I think those are all definitely things that we should be looking at. And then I would propose that as departments collaboratively, there's probably savings there somewhere, like in the past where the senior center needed a vehicle and the police department was able to provide that with one of the aging vehicles. I would propose that we get in the next head meeting this report pulled up and say, okay guys, let's go to the exercise all together of finding 500,000 and see if you can do it. Right? There's gotta be there. I think there's stuff there, collaboratively. One that I would like to propose is even just us as city council, put my money where my mouth is. The way city council is paid is kind of weird. It's based off health insurance. I have 5 kids. That means I get paid more.
I have none.
You have none. So what I'm getting paid versus what you're getting paid
It's peanuts.
It's much different. Let's stabilize that. I'll take a pay cut. Let's bring that down so that we're all getting compensated fair based off regional areas. I would ask that because it's based off of insurance, that happens in November. Renewals do. So I made decisions on what insurance I have based off of what I was getting compensated. So if we could postpone the cut for, time it for when that renewal comes, I'm willing to take a pay cut in that, and let's level that out. But that's one way that I think we can do it. I'll start by saying, hey, I see a piece of waste there. It's not right. It doesn't make sense to me. Let's fix it. I think there's more of it throughout. I agree with you. I think there's a lot of it.
Do I
Uncomfortable, like we all have to make the sacrifice.
Yes, I want to piggyback on Bo for just a second. I did bring up to the city business license. I spoke to a former employee about it. We own a business and we pay $600 for a business license for one Airbnb. In Tremonton, $0. And they're working on that. And it isn't the office lady's problem that this has been overlooked. Don't throw darts at them.
No, yeah.
This started in 2022. There was a study done, and the very last page it says to renew it annually and make adjustments. We have so many things that for services that are not being compensated. And now a business license is not a revenue generating source. It says right in there, it is not supposed to be a revenue generating source. But we have services that could use a little bit of a kick. If you're getting an income, that's a business. Apartments, rental homes, rental townhomes, the list goes on and on and on that we are not charging a business license for. And I'm not saying go out to all the mom and pop stores that are paying business licenses now. That is not what I have been proposing since January. And I'm calling myself out because I'm the one that brought it to a head. But I know the study's being done, and I know the ladies are working on it right now, so I'm super excited to see what they come up with. But I know that as a city council, we can do this. I have faith in us. It isn't gonna be fun, but we can do it.
I've sat for a week now, going through finances and going through these types of things. I've got a list of 16 different items that I consider waste. And almost $1 million worth of savings or revenue gaining. So, you know, that's additional. I think I know the city is looking for these things now. Everyone's engaged on this. It's really been fun to watch. Yeah. The one thing, you know, and Brent, I agree on, the 28% isn't to say this is what you have to do. But if you look at the whole, we have a certain percentage of money that we have. And if you're paying 47% of your income on your home, you're paying too much. So somehow we got, and I understand that they were asked to come up, ask for the world. So I'm not pointing fingers here. I'm not doing that. What I'm asking is, where do we set the limits? Where do we set those percentages so these guys can go back, these ladies in their departments can go back and say, okay, this is what I have to work with. And that's what I'm asking for. That's what we need them to have. And it doesn't matter if it's 38% for the police and 5% for the parks. We just need to set some goals for them to start working. In the future, I don't want to have the police chief and the fire chief to go out and guess what we're going to be needing. I want them to know right off, this is how much budget I have. We grew this much in revenues this year. I get 35% more. This is what I have to spend. And now it's going to make the whole budget cycle so much easier every year for all of our departments. And so I'm trying to simplify this process so it doesn't become heated and discussions over which department needs money over another department. And those numbers can adjust. But that's kind of what I'm asking for tonight is what direction can you give to these managers so that they can go back and start to bring this in line? Do you want savings? Do you want a 10% savings? What number do you want to save this year?
I mean, 10 to 20% in recommendation, right? And standard.
That's the standard.
Again, raised it.
Yeah, I mean, we should be putting away $1 million.
I think we're capped at 35%.
Yeah, I think even the general fund.
3.5 million.
We transfer it out to the capital projects funds if we have excess above that.
Because like 7.2 is going right now into, you know, so it gets transferred out.
Well, I think, I mean, the percentages from a management standpoint, I think every department head would love to get to the percentages. And because you're right, it is easier. It's getting to that percentage without carving into, you know, like I said, 30, 35 or 33 is, doesn't give the, I mean, we got to remember that we've got COLAs, we got steps and things like that that go up. And one of the hard things one thing that is the highlight of public service and anybody that's worked for the government, you know, as TSA is experiencing right now, is that the employees usually are the ones that take the brunt of the service and the decisions. I don't want Tremont to be known as a place where you just left another agency or you left another city to come work here, and we lured you in with this, and just kidding. You know, we cannot be that. Ethically, we can't do that. And so that's where, you know, when we find efficiencies and things like that, and then we start talking about, you know, okay, what can we do to increase those things to get to that percentage to where then the departments naturally grow with the population and the effects of the city. And so then there's that encouragement to, you know, to bring grants in. I mean, we could have a thing where you know, and we've talked about some of this before, where you get, you know, you get an employee that writes a sustainable grant that frees up money in another thing, let's kick them 3 or 5% of the savings on that.
Look at that graph right there.
And this is to your point, Brent. The one on the right is Tremont and cities. These are our revenues, okay? The one on the left is national averages. So the blue represents property tax. We're kind of right in there where the nation's at. The yellow or orange is sales tax. We receive a significant amount more of sales tax, or we receive a lot less of other things. And I think that's the answer.
That's what.
And so the purple is intergovernmental spending, so that's grants. We're not doing a good job of nabbing grants, other than we did a really good job this year. And so there's other things we can do now to start to grow those other pieces of the pie and get the revenues in here. And so the other thing that we need, I do need to tell you that there is some fault with my spreadsheet, because the Garland contract is part of the total general fund, and it shouldn't be. It needs to be, the whole thing needs to go to the police department.
Revenue should go back.
Yeah, and so that's gonna shift things a little bit. And I'll make those adjustments.
But is that part of the 35% or not?
Well,
They get
35%.
35% of their contract, but they should get the full contract. Because, yeah.
But is that?
So 150 of the 500 or whatever is going, is showing up for them, but really they should have an additional 3, whatever, right? So that would bring their.
So they would receive another $300,000 in their budget, just because.
Which would make the 47% go down.
Yeah.
Drastic.
Yeah.
So like down to 41, 40.
It's like 400,000 instead of 800.
Yeah, I think
So my point is I think we can do this together. Now, the message, and this is what happens every year, and I just need to say this. This is not about the police or the fire or the public works or our parks department. We're not picking on anyone. We are taking care of our city. Our employees are important, and we want to do the right things. So how are we going to do that? We need to decide that. If we can do that now or in the next few weeks, our budget's coming around fast. We're gonna have a finance director here on the 27th. She will start going through this and making sure everything's in line, but we still have to discuss this, and we still have to discuss capital projects.
I think we need to aim for 15%.
And so if we.
So on this spreadsheet,
Yes.
scroll up, 15% needs to be left for capital allocation.
At least, bare minimum.
Which would put about 1.5 million in savings. Now.
Because I mean, more than 1.5 million is being asked of us. If we remember, our spreadsheet last year was 110 million. It's being asked.
Would you like me to go
in
through
capital.
and pull out some of those ideas we have for gaining, like some of the projects where we're using contracts and that, and we'll gain some money from there. And I think we could probably, if we do those things over this year, those will change the numbers, either less on expenses or more on revenues. You know, each one's going to affect that bottom line a little differently.
You know, you and I talked about a way to help with the safety staff. Is that how, safety departments?
Yeah.
You know, public safety. I would really like us to explore that.
Yeah,
But I don't
I
know
think
whether
we
we
can do
bring it
about
up here.
$97,000 a year in a impact fee for safety for each department. But we just need to make sure we structure that right, so that that money has to be used correctly.
Yes, and go to the right department, because right now with all the growth we've had since 2017, we are falling short in public safety. And so what we talked about, we'll talk about.
Oh, and I mean, Brian's coming over on Monday, and I'm gonna find out where he's getting this $2 million.
Yeah.
Because if he's spending $2 million, we're gonna.
Friday.
Friday at 10 o'clock. And we're gonna find out where that's coming from, because we're open to trying to find a solution.
Yeah, I mean, if there's 2.6 in revenue available, that is not gonna have a negative impact on our future growth capacity, net economic development. As soon as you do put in a business license, if I'm comparing Tremonton versus another city, I'm less prone if the other one's for free, right? So there's always a consequence to every revenue that we do charge. I'm not saying we don't. I'm just saying, we do need to keep that lens on as we're increasing revenues, that we're also not making ourselves more difficult to work with, which in turn
Absolutely agree with
challenges
you.
our revenue.
I
So
do.
it's kind of find that sweet spot.
But we still need to tweak that business license thing.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
like,
lots of things.
the mom and pops, they're good. I just want people that are not paying that should be paying.
I think impact fees ought to be what we can legally charge. You pay a lot, but really, if you build a house, you buy it. You do it once and then you're out, and the guy that builds every other year builds a house, we get more money. I mean,
Which of our impact fees, because with an impact fee, you legally have to do a study. And those studies aren't cheap, and they're also timed. And so I'd love to, on Friday with Brian, let's find that out.
Okay.
I can tell there's
Anybody that wants to come, more than welcome.
because those impact fees timing, we've, as a city, we've typically been pretty on front of those and timing them about when we think we could actually increase. And so, and Brian's shaking his head, so happy to hear, if there's improvement there. Let's definitely look at those.
So I think what the goal here is we want to make ourselves whole, okay? And all I'm asking is, is there some percentages that we can start working with for right now? And I'm even willing to go back to, the departments can go back and we can say, hey, we want you to come close to 15% on this. Where can you get?
We all have to do something.
And then they can work on that together.
As part of that, can we, not to intentionally heap something onto Lindsay's plate, but can we, sorry. I got a butterscotch.
Sorry, not sorry.
As a protocol.
Is about doing I would like to know how much we are outsourcing. Like a cost feasibility of what things are we outsourcing, and look at, does it make more sense to bring it in-house?
Yeah.
And as part of all this, because I
I've
think.
got that in that study, I guess.
You do?
I've
Some of the
already got it
16
done. The
items.
16 items, and I identified them.
Yeah.
I did most of those.
Okay, great.
So I could show those to you, but
Good job, Lindsay.
there's, like
welcome.
I said, there's almost $1 million worth of items that we either reduce or we can increase revenues, and so. I will, when we get out of the meeting, I will be glad to send that document out to you guys so you can look at it.
That'd be great.
But what would you guys suggest we give Lindsay direction to go back to the department heads and do with this budget? To me, this simplifies it for us.
Yeah, there's no.
I mean, I think there's too many nuances for us as a council to say this has to be the percentage. I think we need the heads to get back together and get back to the 15% somehow.
So
Because, and I say that because as soon as we pull, are we low staffed on detectives?
No, that figures, sorry, Brian, but that figures way.
But
I'm
my,
just going by the
my
average,
point is,
yeah.
as soon as we don't fund for detectives, we're gonna have issues at the sewer plant. As soon as we don't fund so as a council, there's too many nuances, I think, for us to make the decision. Rather, we just gotta give the guidance that we can't spend more than we have, and we have to save for future infrastructure. So we have to get to 15%.
Mhm.
We just have to.
I agree.
It's just, there's
Yeah.
there's
I
only
agree.
X amount of dollars.
Well,
Now, we also do have to consider one thing, and it's unpopular, and I don't even want to say the words out loud, but it's economics. Revenue, less expenses.
It is.
Our city costs are going up with inflation every year. Our property tax is completely flatlined. We do not grow in property tax revenue. The only way we grow is in sales tax revenue. Those take time. We have clear strategic objectives that we're working toward to increase sales tax revenues. I've been working on a lot this week. The reality is if we aren't adjusting our property tax through truth in taxation with inflation or Social Security, we will get behind. That's just, that it happened, that costs are going up, revenue stays flat. So I'm just being a good steward by saying our costs are going up and our revenues are being flat. Now, there are revenues that are exposed that we could be doing that we're not. So I think this year, if we're super aggressive about that, we could go close the gap. But in the long term, if our costs are going up and we are not adjusting a little bit at the same rate that our COLA adjustments and Social Security is going up, we're punting it to another council. Straight up. And it's not popular, and I don't want to say it, and I'm trying to find ways to decrease it. And I think we can become an economic center that's so successful that we actually could get rid of property tax as a whole.
That'd be awesome.
Right? But we're not. And our costs are going up. So until that happens, we've got to adjust it down. Or I would suggest that we have to start thinking about that.
So what would that model look like?
I don't know. I think there's enough savings that if we go really are stewards and accountable and starting with city council, look at our costs this year, I think we can find what we need to. But then start thinking about next year, adjusting with Social Security inflation on a yearly basis. Because it will catch up to you. And we only pull the trigger if sales tax didn't increase, you know what I mean? Sales tax increasing could hold that lever from having to be pulled each year. But at least it's on the agenda and plan so that we're not having an awkward conversation. Yeah. But we're just not being good stewards if we don't. We're kicking it for another council to have to do what you guys did 4 years ago when you had to do a 25% to finally get it back up.
59%.
59. I lived in Logan, so it didn't matter. But that's the reality. You all of a sudden had to swallow that pill, and I'd rather just be a good steward anyway. So that's where my head's at. This year, let's shoot for it, but next year, I think we should start thinking about it.
I totally agree.
And put sales tax goals to not have to do it.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think we gotta keep up with the COLA. I think we wait for 25%, not even 50, that somebody's gonna be pissed, and if everybody's gonna be mad anyway, it's like the grass thing. But if you only gotta pay 3% every year and it goes up so much that you're gonna complain, but you're gonna just live with it. You can do it because you got it somewhere else. But
well, I think, and I'll leave with this. I know we're going way long, but part of the goal of transparency is that and making these cuts and part of streamlining the everything in the percentages and digging into every corner and under every cushion to find out before we ask for that increase or state the need for the increase, if our citizens know and can trust that we've looked in every corner, then I think it's I think that's doable. It's not like no, I'll say that.
Well, I think good discussion. Lindsay, you got your marching orders in department heads meeting. Would you work with them and see if they can find 15% on that bottom line? And Chief, I will fix the guarded contract piece so that it reflects correctly. Okay. And then
you're meeting with Brian Friday.
Yeah.
So revenue ideas could be prior
They're
to
meeting
that.
Thursday.
Prior to the head. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're meeting.
I think the percentage is at least a spot for these guys to
aim for.
try to,
Yeah.
try to get there and then see where they're at, because realizing that, I mean, last year was hard, but realizing that they're just, we're not gonna go do 59% to get it. So,
Can we as a council start the discussion by saying, hey, let's address our compensation?
We can look at it.
Flatline it, compare it against others, get normal, and
Well, that was one of my
Figure out
16
it.
items, so yeah, we'll look at it.
all right.
Sure. Awesome, that was great. Good discussion. Please, chiefs, department heads, go back to your departments, let them know that we do care and we're trying to do the right things, okay? We really are. I know that part of the fire department's, this budget is to get your firemen on a level that's at par where we got our police officers last year. We support that. And so we're trying to do everything we can to make this the greatest place in America.
And you might go
Yeah,
from
America.
$2 an hour to $4 an hour.
Dude, I don't want to raise. I mean, I
Okay.
did this because I wanted to serve the community. And when I found out, you know, the insurance thing, I just looked at the mayor and I says, I don't like paying my insurance. You know, my husband actually said, I don't work for Tremont City, do not pay mine. So, you know, it's not that I want it. Hey, I'm doing this for the residents, not myself.
Great. Okay, let's move on. Strategic business. We're now going to discuss the financial statements. It's open for any kind of discussion that you guys want to discuss right now.
We won't normally have 3 months at a time. That was unusual, but
Yeah, Michelle said there was a few
Michelle
errors
had
she
a
had
lot
a
of
really hard time finding.
crazy things she had to figure out. She's calling, anyway, it was, yeah. So we're gonna be back on track. So I'm pledging that I will not bring you 3 financials in one meeting ever again.
I know you
And the financial director, when we were in
Yes.
the interviews, one of the things that we mentioned to that person is that they will be working hard on providing better open book policies for everyone to see things easier, and to work with the departments to make sure that they have that same kind of, I don't want to use transparency because but balance, yeah, so they can see it, you know, like Chief and I were looking for something today, he could just look and find it, and that's the goal. We
Yeah,
want to get it
they
so
need that.
everyone can
All
find
the
everything they
department
need.
heads need that.
And so I'm excited where we're gonna go with that. So any discussion on the financial statements?
Not now, I have it.
Okay, as part of our process with that, we now open it up for public hearing for 3 minutes, a person on anyone that wants to talk about anything on the financial statements. The fun thing about that, you can come out if you're going to, the fun thing about that is now we can communicate and discuss. Yes.
Again, I'm Bill Rosenbach. I have a question. What's the sales tax for Tremont? How much is it?
The percentage?
Yeah.
6.6.
625.
Yeah.
I think
Around 6.
6.6.
435 is at the state though. And I think
Yeah,
it's
the
only
portion we get
135
is much
for the
less.
city.
So the sales tax in Yuma, Arizona, where I lived for many years, a few decades, 9%. That's what the sales tax is. It's kind of hard the way inflation is going. It's kind of scary how much more things cost now than they did not too long ago. Bought my house in 2020. I put money down in November of 2020 on my house. I got in before the interest rates went stupid. I got in before real estate went stupid. I feel for young people, I really do. But I was kind of curious about that on the sales tax. So we're at 6.6.
I think somewhere around there. Now, there is another thing we could use as a tool. It's a wrap tax, right? That can be added to the sales tax, and that's for recreation. It's very minimal amount, but there's those kind of tools that are available to us. And then there's also the tax that goes on entertainment tax on hotels and that?
Yeah.
Does that exist?
CRT.
And we always want to be careful of which of those levers we pull. A
Yeah.
lot of people will actually come from out of town to buy vehicles and, a Polaris in Tremont because the sales tax is lower and they save a bunch on what they pay versus going to Ogden. So it brings a lot of revenue to the city.
Yeah, good point.
It does.
So we got to be careful with it.
When I was in Yuma, I was a member of the Rod and Gun Club down there. They had all kinds of events, hunting contests, fishing contests. So I ran the Jim Breck Memorial Duck Derby every year. And I would raffle things in order to raise funds for that event. I'd start out with $500 to spend. Okay, that's what the gun club would give me. And of course, the way I was running this event, I was making so much money, I was retaining stuff back for the next year, plus making more. Put off of about 6 to 7 weeks of raffle tickets, I was generating $3,500, $4,000 off of that. So my thinking is maybe to raise a little bit more money for the police department, maybe we raffle off a gun. $5 a ticket or 5 for 20, depending on the cost of the gun. If it's a $300 or $400 gun, $5 a ticket or 5 for 20. If you're talking about $1,000 gun, well, now you're gonna, $10 or $20 a ticket. That's just an idea. And then, of course, you have to put out the disclaimer that if you can't pass a background check, don't bother.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's my thought.
Thanks.
All these numbers are from transparentutah.gov, so anybody can go look them up. All I did was take averages, and I put Tremont pretty much on every one of them. I did. So every one of these things like impact fees, building permits, business licenses, everything. Tremont sits in the bottom, right here. Out of 9 cities, Tremont's like 7 or 8 consistently. All I brought it up to was 3rd or 4th, not at the highest, and then a lot of stuff were right in the middle. And so, as far as what I could tell, when I talk to people, we're justified to raise it up to that. We need to be, for like impact fees, we do need to get that study because I think we haven't collected near the money we should have for years.
In which one?
Impact fees.
Which
across the board.
All of them?
Yeah. We don't collect it. I don't think we collect anything on police.
We don't.
Which everybody else does.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
Like 40.
I did this also. I was in Kiwanis about 5 years ago. I did the study then because the mayor came to Kiwanis and I did it then. We were still bottom.
Yeah.
And I did this on Cache Valley, Box Elder, and Northern Davis. We're still there. We haven't adjusted impact fees at all. I'm with Blair, raise them to the max. Now, it's based on 100 homes. For the last few years, we've been building up over 100 homes in Tremont City, not Blackstone County or surrounding areas. I'm talking Tremont City. We've been building over roughly 100 homes every year for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. Also, you come back into the building fees, we're way down, guys. I mean, we haven't looked at these fees forever. Business licenses, again, we're not collecting what she was talking about. We're not collecting, other cities collect $1 or $2 per door for apartments, for storage sheds. We're just not collecting it at all. So it's like, there's easy money there.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Low-hanging fruit for sure.
Yeah, this is low-hanging fruit. Utilities, parks, and courts. We subsidize our court 93%. Out of these 8 cities, that's not counting Tremont, 8 other cities, 3 of them make income out of the courts. That's a third of the cities are making money out of the courts. We're subsidizing ours 93%.
Well, part of that, we've had there have been some hurdles over the last couple of years that
Right.
aren't.
I get that, but still, I'm talking over the 5 year, I'm talking from 2020 to 2025. We've subsidized our court system that much.
Now, I just want to throw out one consideration on that, is that when cities leverage fines and forfeitures into their
I
general
totally get
fund,
that.
the optics of it are,
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you take the 8 cities again, compare it to Tremont, they're doing 2 to 3 tickets a month per officer. We're down.
those are illegal.
I know, but I'm just telling you what they're doing.
Yeah.
We're doing about 1, based on what I can see. Again, I'm just doing the data. I'm a numbers guy. I'm not putting anything behind it. I'm just numbers. I just look at the numbers and I tell you what's going on, and I tell you, I put it in the sheet. That's all I do. Most of this money right here is restricted funds, which would be it for your roads, sewer, water, stuff like that. Probably I think it's about 80% of that would be restricted to Carl's budget. It would definitely help the sewer.
Oh, yeah.
And everything like that. There's a little bit of flexibility in some of these other ones. But you still got roughly $2.6 million, guys.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Well, thanks, thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I would love to go into a closed session.
Well, we need a motion on the financial statements.
Oh, yes, let's. I motion that we approve the financial statement for January, February,
December,
January, February.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Okay, that financial statement's passed. Okay, we're got some people that have commitments, so let's try to move through here. Do you have any city manager report that you need to talk about? Okay, so you'll just take I'll work with you tomorrow and we'll get that report for you, and then you can work on your city department head meeting on that mandate. Okay. Yep. Upcoming calendar events, we have the city, we have Literacy Night on April 20th. I'm not going to say that word, but it starts at Jeannie Stevens on 7:30. Yeah, I can't ever say it. Spring Cleanup, May 6th through the 8th. Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive on May 9th, and Library's Summer Reading Kickoff Party, May 29th. We also have the ULCT training in
April 21st.
April 22nd. And so when you get down there, we're all going to meet on Wednesday night for dinner. And so
So that would be.
Is that Wednesday night?
Yeah. That would be a city council week on the 21st.
Yeah, we will not be having.
Okay. Which means
city
your
council meeting.
first meeting in May, which is our next meeting, is when the tentative budget is approved.
So we're not having one on the 21st?
No, we won't have one on the 21st.
Do we need to have?
Keep in mind, that is tentative budget, which means it can be changed, but it does have to be passed the first meeting in May.
Not having a meeting on the 21st?
No. It's pretty hard to have that.
And I'll be at that conference all week too, so I wouldn't be.
So we normally have not held that meeting.
No, it starts Thursday, but we're.
And so then what we can do, if the department heads go back and they work on it and they get this down to 15% and all that, then they'll know where their figures out. I think it'd be pretty easy for them to get their expenses in line. And then we'll work on our part on finding efficiencies and the other parts.
Yep.
And then we can come back after May and start going over the capital improvement plan. Perfect. Okay.
Got it.
With that, I would entertain another motion.
Make a motion that we go over the closed session.
Okay, we'll go into closed session. We need to talk about, the reason we're going to closed session is to talk about real property and character of an individual. And with that, we will go into, I need a second.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, we'll go into closed session now. Thank you for attending.
Oh, yeah, find it first.
I don't know if she goes.
Can I ask a question? I was just curious if that secondary water project got awarded? Yes. Why I was here to
Yes, it did.
see that.
It did.
Where was it awarded to?
No.
That guy out there in the hall.
Secondary was Great Basin.
Carl, ask Carl. He knows who's awarded to.
Who are you with?
Great Basin.
Oh,
I think you got it.
got it. What do you think you did?
Thank you very much.
Check with Carlo.
Carl.
Carl.
Yeah, sure. I don't know where the sign is.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, my daddy.
Okay, let's try to get through this as quick
Really
as we
fast.
can. We'd like to be done here by 9 o'clock.